Johnson, you bastard!
Dad!
I haven't even said anything yet, and I got a cheer. That's a pretty good start. Hi, my name is Brendan McNamara, and I'm the director of The Getaway. The Getaway is a gritty crime drama set in the ganglands of London. And as you can see, it's definitely not for kids. I've been working on this game for over 3 years, and it's difficult just to describe just how ambitious this project has been. I'd like to say that this has been by some sort of grand design, but it's simply not true. When we first got the PS2 hardware, it allowed us the freedom to design on a scale that we hadn't imagined on PS1. Here's an example of the realism we can achieve on PS2. These two shots are of a famous train station in London called St Pancras. One of these is a game shot and one of these is a real one. The clue for us is which one has the most realistic weather. PS2 forced us to re-evaluate what kind of game we wanted to make and try and look into the future of what might be possible in a video game. A question I've continued to ask myself is, how can a movie be more than a movie and a game be more than a game? My answer would be if you could play the movie and if the game had a story that actually meant something. We knew we could recreate a fantastic rendition of London, but we decided we didn't want the usual small subset of the city as a backdrop to the game. We wanted the whole lot. So we went crazy and we reproduced 46 square kilometres of London. That's every street, every road marking, every building and every bus stop. And to put it in an American perspective, that's the equivalent of the whole island of Manhattan. That's 5 hours of drivable roads, 70 miles of road surface, 50,000 reference photos, and a graveyard of Sony digital cameras that we wore out going out and shooting London's buildings. We created technology that would allow us to get the most out of the PS2. The game never stops streaming ever. It's constantly loading new parts of the city, cars and characters in a way that we hope shows off what the PS2 design team had in mind when they created this hardware. We didn't skimp on the cars either and approached all the car manufacturers that you'd expect to find in a big European city and asked them if they wanted to be involved in the Getaway. So here's an example of one of the characters' cars in the game. The Getaway is a mixed genre game that mixes driving and action, but we wanted to create a really sophisticated driving model that incorporates rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive to create a realistic oversteer, understeer experience. We were now at the stage where we had great locations and great cars, but our characters weren't really cutting it. So we took the original design sketches and we decided we'd cast real actors and scan them into the game, which is a big decision for us. But having real actors gave us many benefits. We could use their likenesses and performances and game characters. We could use them in cutscenes and capture their vocal performances at the same time. They're also pretty useful for marketing purposes because people seem to want to talk to actors more than game developers. Having real characters meant we needed something for them to say, so we spent 6 months working on a script which is over 100 pages long and equates to 60 minutes of narrative in the game. After the initial readings, we needed a dynamic, forceful character to play Frank Carter, the vigilante cop. So what I'm going to show you is this guy, Joe's Rice's first reading of the script to play Frank Carter.
Who do you think you are, Rambo? This is London, not Hollywood. You endangered the lives of hundreds of innocent bystanders. I've had just about enough of your slap-happy cowboy approach to this job. You put too many lives at risk.
Including my own. When was the last time you put your life on the line for this job, you f***ing desk jockeys? How many lives did I save into that? Then, when the villains around here start carrying water pistols instead of lethal f***ing weapons, then I'll start clipping around here. Until then, just let me do my f***ing job, alright?
So as you can see from the tape, we got something pretty forceful. We cast Ricky Hards as Charlie Jolson, a notorious East End crime boss, almost by accident. And as you can see from the picture, whenever me and Rick get together, it's a who's got the shiniest head competition. Ricky was 20 years too young, but he had the voice, mannerisms and intelligence we were after, so we took the plunge to make Ricky older. And by the way, if you're watching this, Ricky is claustrophobic, so we put him through a head casting to make him a bit older. It's not much fun, so have a look at it now.
About 6 months from the same. Feel better than me.
So they put 2 straws up his nose so he can breathe.
Just in your other eye before we poke him around.
And as I said, he's claustrophobic, so we had his girlfriend along the day, so she held his hand all the way through the process. But he wanted to keep her out of the picture.
Just going over your eyes, you feel you just working it in your eyes. And you open your cheeks. Fantastic. Yeah, is it this one? There it comes. That's bang. And there we go. Bang. It's down to go up past. That's what we've got in there. Impression of his face.
You can see probably the difference between the 2 versions. The idea is that he starts off at sort of 35 years old, and at this stage he's probably about 55 to 60.
So it's a pretty unnerving process to go from 35 to 55 in just a couple of days, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. The scanning process was almost the last piece of the puzzle. I'd like to show you another example. This is Chopper, who's a well-known English actor who has appeared in both Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, and the remake of The Mean Machine. Here's how Chopper looks in the game as Jamal, the Audi boss. Our characters were now incredible, and they did justice to the city and the cars. They're as close as we could imagine to the real characters you've seen, while still running in real time on PS2. However, they were lifeless, and once again the pursuit of realism pushed us to find new ways of bringing our characters to life. We spent 1 year researching different ways of getting a performance into a 3D model. We looked at hand animation, optical motion capture, medical scanners, and finally settled on a magnetic system that would allow all of our actors to truly interact with each other at the same time. Here's a typical scene from 6 weeks of standing in the middle of a magnetic field. So you see our wooden car that we built at the end, and we could use real props and real guns, and the actors could completely interact with each other. And we can show you this scene a bit later. Crucially, we also wanted to capture hand data, and we recorded vocal performances at the same time so we could capture a true performance. We hope you'll hear and see the difference when you play the game over the next few days at E3. Unfortunately, we found no easy way of capturing facial animation, so we went back to the drawing board and we wrote our own system called Talking Heads. Talking Heads allows us to animate facial expressions from reference footage from the motion capture shoot. Using Chopper as an example again, I'm going to show a little video of the types of expressions we can overlay over lip sync. That's a bit of a spooky experience for the actors too, to see us playing around with their heads like that. Finally, we had all the elements in place we needed to create a truly next generation video game. We have a compelling story worthy of a movie that doesn't get in the way of the game. We now have a game which we hope will appeal to both game and film audiences. The Getaway has been a mammoth undertaking from our largest ever development team. A team of 55 really creative people who I'm proud and honoured to work with. We think The Getaway is a glimpse of what the future holds for video games. The Getaway is attempting to reach a crossover audience. We want gamers to play the game, but we also want moviegoers who have never ever thought of buying a game. I'm going to finish traditionally with a video, and this is a cinema trailer we've put together to try and get to both these audiences.
I think he's with us again.
Morning, sunshine. Good to see you again. Sleep well?
Wait for me, son, you fat bastard.
Patient smart, my boy. All in good time.
If you don't tell me where my son is, you better kill me now!
Stop talking and start listening, Hammond. You're in no position to make demands, because we're going to play a little game. Eyebrows, give no fun. I ring you, you do the job. I do what I tell you, the kid dies. I do where I tell you, the kid dies. I do when when I tell you. Your kid dies. You getting my drift? You want to see your kid alive? Do exactly what I say. You let me down. You talk to anyone, or you're late. Your kid dies! You're on the run. You killed your wife. You left the murder weapon behind at the scene. You're a convicted bank robber. What do you think your chances are?
I know where your kid is. I can even get to it. I know the layout and the security. All of it.
Get up. You're not paying attention.